apologies to anyone that was expecting a talk on seaweed and our interest in seaweed. It's not going to be that today, I'm afraid. I'm just going to give you an introduction to Unilever as a company, very briefly. And then I'm going to take you into a few examples of where Unilever has partnered and invested in IV companies to produce ingredients for our products. But get the right way. Okay, so Unilever, of course, make those big brand products that you find on your supermarket shelves. I'm not going to dwell on this anymore today, except to say, yes, I'm aware there's a big announcement out there from Unilever today that we're divesting our ice cream business. That's all I know at this point. I can't say more. I wanted to just bring up our corporate purpose, which is to make sustainable living commonplace. And just dwell on that statement for a moment and what that means, making sustainable living commonplace. What that means is that our ambition is not to identify those green consumers and specifically target them. What it is to bring sustainable ingredients into our products, which by default give all those people that buy our products sustainability in their and enable them to live more sustainably in their everyday lives. Some big numbers on this slide. I hope you can see them from the back. I think they're big enough on this screen. The ones I wanted to home in on was that our products are available in over 190 countries. 3.4 billion people use our products every day, and 58% of our turnover is from emerging markets. If you couple that with bringing sustainable products to everybody, all those people that buy our products, you can see that even in countries, emerging countries where you'd think they weren't too interested, the consumers weren't too interested in sustainability, we can have a big impact as a large corporate entity. So just a few words about our partnering and business models before we dive into those examples. So basically, the only golden rule we have in partnering is that the partnerships should be mutually beneficial. Yeah? Good for Unilever, good for our partners. Apart from that, we can partner and construct business models that make sense for everyone concerned. So these are the three examples that I'm going to talk about, and they are for different types of partnering as well. A straight fee for service, that speaks for itself. With Gino, we have a joint venture in place there, and also Evonik is a joint development. Now, of course, we have other arrangements, such as offtake agreements, that was brought up previously. Reasons of confidentiality and competition law as well. I can't go into the details of that, but rest assured, we do make offtake agreements frequently with our suppliers. You've probably all zoomed in on the Climate and Nature Fund. That's our Climate and Nature Fund, where in 2020 we announced that we were going to invest $1 billion to maximize impact and value creation in sustainable ventures. What that looks like in practice is that is an impact, an innovation platform, an investment platform, and the idea is that we not only partner with entities to help bring their ingredients or products to market, but also with investors as well. So we want to bring other investors in there to further amplify the impact that those do-good activities can do, whilst maximising the total return on investment as well. So, jumping into the examples. So the first one I'm going to talk about, actually, is detergent enzymes that we've been using since the 1960s. But this is a real classic example of industrial biotech in action that's been going on for decades. And actually, it's huge. Yeah, the global detergent enzymes business was worth $5.7 billion in 2022. Yeah. And the laundry detergent is actually the largest global application of industrial enzymes. Yeah. So it's a pretty damn place to be, I think, if you're an investor. So why do we use enzymes? Well, they help us clean garments in the laundry. It's quite mundane, it's quite everyday, everybody needs to do it. And what's good about enzymes is that they work at really small quantities. So we can take out a lot of petrochemical surfactant by putting in a small amount of bio-based enzyme. That enables us to concentrate our products, take out all those surfactants, some of those surfactants. The ideal would be we take out all of those surfactants, of course, and just have them completely enzyme-based. We can concentrate them down, and you will see our products that often say concentrated, and you've got a really tiny measures on there to use. Please use those tiny measures, not what you'd like to use, which is a big gulp, gulp. Anyway, but detergent enzymes, although we've been using them for decades, there's still an awful lot of continuous innovation around there. I mentioned Arzeda. They're a US-based company. They are global leading in using artificial intelligence for enzyme design, and that's why we've partnered with them. And they are developing the next generation of laundry detergent enzymes for us. The coupling of AI with industrial biotechnology is really, really powerful. And I would say that is a real hotbed of innovation for the future. You'll see that we announced this partnership in 2023. And about the same time, just before 2022, Arzeda were having a 33 million investment. Now, I'm not sure whether that's chicken or egg, whether it was because Unilever was already talking with them. They got strong commitment from Unilever that enabled them to grasp that investment. But the two have certainly gone hand in hand, the investment and us as a customer. Second example I'll take is palm kernel oil equivalents for surfactants. Now, I've already mentioned surfactants as being a bit of not a nasty, but something we want to try and move away from. At least we want to move away from the petrochemical surfactants. And still today, 90% of our surfactants we use in our products throughout the detergent industry are petrochem derived. And we want to move to bio-based ingredients. Now, we've got a double whammy there because the key alternative to those oily parts of the molecule that we need in our surfactants is palm kernel oil. And we do use that already within the industry, but we only use deforestation-free palm derivatives. And there is only, by definition, a finite amount of them to go around. We cannot fill that 90% gap with palm kernel oil from the palm tree, but we can use industrial biotechnology to engineer bugs, microbes, to make a palm kernel oil equivalent in a fermenter. And that's why we partnered with Geno, used to be known as Genomatica. They've just abbreviated their name to Geno. And you'll see a big number over there, $120 million venture to scale specifically that palm kernel oil equivalent. Now, that was announced in 2022. Sorry, needed to remind myself and make sure I'm saying that right. Shortly after Unilever and Geno announced this number, a company called Cow, which is an Asian home care company, also came on board in that joint venture. Swiftly followed by L'Oreal in 2023 to become the third global company investing in this Geno collaboration to make palm kernel oil in a fermenter rather than more deforestation. Final example, sticking with the surfactants theme, this one is about rhamnolipids, which are a natural biosurfactant. Now, rhamnolipids are produced by a bacterium, Pseudomonas aeruginosa, which is a class 2 pathogen. So, nice surfactant, pity about the host, which you'd never want to grow in a fermenter. What we did before this partnership with Evonik was we spent an awful lot of time working out what rhamnolipids could do for us. Yeah, to try and find the benefits and why we'd want to put them in our products, because there was going to be a price hike over other surfactants. Basically, we knew that from the outset. So what we need to do is identify those co-benefits that we can really talk about and sell to the consumer that makes them want to buy a product at a slightly higher price point. And the one real motivator we found was that the rhamnolipids gave you an amazing skin feel after you touched them, been in contact with them, handled them, which is just what you want in a hand dishwash product. I don't know how many people here wash up by hand, but you may well realize that when you do, your hands feel really dry afterwards and you're reaching for the moisturizer. Whereas this product here, Quix, it's a South American brand, one of our South American brands. We launched together with Evonik, who'd been working for a similar amount of time as us, but on the engineering the pathway into a non-pathogenic organism and optimizing it to making it more efficient. Together with Evonik, they were able to supply us with a fairly small amount of material sufficient to do a trial market launch in Chile with the Quix, under the Quix brand. This product flew off the shelves, and we weren't able to keep supplying, or Evonik, I should say, weren't able to keep supplying that material to continue to stock the shelves. So we ended up disappointing our consumers, which is something we don't like to do, by not being able to resell it for them. But what then came, and these are press announcements that you'll see, I can't say too much about the nature of this arrangement, but Evonik are now building a 3-digit million plant. I think it's Slovakia off the top of my head. It's Eastern Europe, to be able to supply massive quantities of rhamnolipids. And yes, of course, we will be buying them from them to enable this fantastic new surfactant to be rolled out further into our products. So a few takeaways, but before I go to that, I just want to say that a few words about sustainability and how that actually sells and boosts your brands, or it can do. So our sustainable living brands, of which we've got 26 defined, they have enabled 70% of our company growth. Yeah. And 46%, and they are growing 46% faster than our other brands. So sustainability, in some cases, many cases driven by IB, really does work. But going back, IB can offer, I hope I've shown that IB can offer sustainable solutions for society, but also real differentiation in the marketplace. IB innovations can carry a substantial cost. Those are big numbers I was talking about, but we are a big company. But the market opportunities can also be huge. And finally, as I just said, sustainable living brands can drive growth as well as impact. And I'll leave it there.